finally, after months of speculation, rumour and banter, we have finally seen and heard from Sony and its latest PlayStation member. This video will hopefully answer as many questions on the new PS4 Pro announced and revealed this week. Now, this is in no way the complete list, but it is the most I've been able to source and confirm for now. Now, Sony still have much to clarify, and the event raises many questions as it answered, and I'll update more with a more detailed video soon. The biggest problem here was Sony had a tough task to try and demonstrate the benefits that 4K and more specifically HDR brings, and ultimately they never maximised this potential. Now, lead architect Mark Cerny is set to have a further reveal on the GPU features and just what hardware modifications they have customised into the machine in the next few weeks. I have mine brought already, and of course will deliver all the information as soon as possible come launch, or hopefully sooner, as I have contacted Sony for a review device as well. Now, I was both disappointed with the message from the event and some of the decisions made, but I will get onto those in due time. So on to the facts and specs. As per the leaks and my initial predictions, we have the Polaris GPU at the centre of the device, now around 2.3 times as powerful as the AMD chip powering the launch PS4, and also revealed slim model, which is also housed on the smaller FinFET chip. These are all identical to the ones I covered last week in my pre-reveal video. Sadly, the confirmed 2016 launch means that any hopes of Zen-centered CPUs are no more. A missed opportunity in my mind, with the same 8 Jaguar cores sharing slightly faster GDDR5 RAM of the same 8GB allocation, with an additional 512 MIBs available to developers when in GoPro mode, required for the greater frame buffers. The CPU is clocked at a 30% increase over the base model, just over half a kilo heavier than the launch machine at 3.2 kilos, along with being bigger and using more power, 310 watts of maximum with its internal PSU from a PC-like kettle lead needed from its bigger power draw. Now, a taller and wider machine it may be, and it should facilitate a bigger fan to cool the new beast down. It resembles the cheaper looking Slim and rather disappointingly looks less pro than the launch model in my opinion. Although the PS logo feat on both is a great touch and stops that show-stopping launch model wobble. Now, it does have a rear USB port, so much better for charging options, along with 2 additional front USBs, helpful with the updated DualShock USB data feed option and the PSVR breakout box. A rear camera port required for PSVR, and obviously the new camera also released here, HDMI and optical out, which is missing from the Slim, and obviously the RJ45 socket complete the I/O suite. So what about the games and the features, you may ask? Now, oddly enough, UHD Blu-ray is missing from the device, and contrary to some rumours or thoughts on this, I highly doubt this will be patched in at a later date, as the optic strength and focus of the laser required for the additional layers needed for the new discs would add a minor but higher cost, and I seriously doubt Sony paid for that to be added and then removed it for a later edition. More likely, this was dropped to keep it under the 349, which was a big part of their target, along with that launch date. Now, in my opinion, this is the single worst choice here. A Pro device designed from its very core to be 4K centric, removing the single best format available to show its benefits, is bewildering to me. Lack of market adoption or not, yes, it does not need it to succeed, but there is a huge difference between a 4K Netflix stream and a 4K Blu-ray movie. The pixel count is merely part of the conversation. But I digress, and aside this omission or mistake I will cover more in a future video, the machine delivers much of the initial promise with the revealed titles. From my predicted top 10 list, many of them did appear, 6 out of 10 to be precise, with others also cropping up. Now, in regards to the base PS4 mode, the games will be identical and run the same in this mode, but I will confirm when I know more or get hands on. As I covered before, the patented method Sony have used, spoofing clock cycles, an obvious choice. Now, with past titles getting patches, I would assume all in time for the November 10th launch, to support the new Pro model include Second Son and First Light, The Last of Us Remastered, which runs at a native 4K, or in the case of Second Son as near as possible. The only downside is the 4K mode will run at 30 FPS, with the same PS4 extra visual benefits. Even more oddly though, Shadow of Mordor appeared, with a patch allowing a 4K or close to boost to the visuals. Hardly a revelation of a title, but better than nothing. Now, it is the more modern titles that are the most interesting. FIFA 17, Battlefield 1 and the new Mass Effect Andromeda all receive updates with a minimum 1080 for all, but pushing up towards the 1800p level. These, as covered in my initial videos, will use a reconstructed resolution method, checkerboard rendering, that is created from a 2x2 grid, spatially extrapolating to construct a 4x4 image from the surrounding data. Now, this obviously will have varying levels of success and weakness, but from footage I have been provided with thus far, as you can see on screen, the results are uniformly good. Even though this is a hardware feature and free for all, it can be tweaked and even bypassed, it seems, by developers to use their own methods. Now, the resulting image is one as close to a 4K display as is possible on console hardware, with nearly all the benefits at a reduced performance cost. Having viewed this on my own 4K TV, I can certainly attest to its remarkable results. Sadly though, none of this footage has HDR enabled, which removes the greatest benefit the next shift brings. Now, as covered, the machine will not render native 4K for many modern titles, but as we have seen with the patches and other less demanding games, this will still occur with no upscaling intervention required on select titles. Elder Scrolls Online is yet another title rendering at a native 4K. A true 4K device in 2016 at £349, or about $399, is really very impressive. Now, we have others in the works also. Witness will move to a minimum 1080 image. PS4 is confirmed 900p here from developers, and a 4x MSAA over 2x, with other benefits still in the works. Other titles also see benefits, with Black Ops 3 seeing a free resolution boost along with expected, Uncharted 4, Final Fantasy 15 and Watch Dogs 2, along with the gorgeous Horizon Zero Dawn, which also demonstrated the expected HDR modes now available to the machine, along with the base PS4 firmware patch adding that support, which I will cover another time. Now, HDR is possibly the biggest benefit to the machine and TVs, as I covered already in previous videos, and in some or many ways adds more to the image than the actual pixel increase, with Horizon looking to run around 1800p natively and then reconstructed to 4K. Now, you can learn more about HDR with my articles linked here and below. Now, Horizon is not only an eye-watering artistic gem, it really suits the benefits that HDR brings. Just do not expect this to become the norm by any means, but as we have seen with this title and almost certainly the absent God of War, Gears 4 and Forza Horizon 3, its use will be adopted faster in AAA titles. Talks of other benefits here were light though, with visual fidelity possibly having a boost at lower resolutions and what should be a more stable frame rate. The same Killzone engine with vast updates obviously powers the title, but from developer chats at the event, the engine simulation physics etc. may be tied to a 30Hz tick rate, meaning an unlocked rate is most likely off the cards here, sadly. Now, another title certainly having the best and applauded set of features is the latest Lara game with Rise of the Tomb Raider from the talented Nixxes software, delivering bang on target with a 1080 unlocked frame rate, a 1080-30 balls to the wall enhanced visuals mode, and finally a 4K 30 reconstructed image mode that may also have some of the EV features included. You can check out my early analysis of the game here thanks to direct feed footage provided by Square Enix, along with other pro titles I'll be covering shortly thanks to direct feed footage I now have. Now, this, along with its VR mode and all DLC including co-op play, will help entice players to buy for either machine, and offers up some of the best demo of what the Pro brings for all, more importantly, the vast majority of 1080p TV set customers out in the wild. Now, this is something I covered in my last video and is still an area among others that Sony needs to clarify and expand on. Using the features like this on the new machine will, in my opinion, help widen its appeal and adoption, and even if these kind of features may not be the standard, I would hope Sony entices developers to do this with unlocked frame rates, extra graphical features, along with its HDR benefits will appease and impress much more than the huge resource required to push a 4K display. For modern titles, the Pro specs would not be enough to manage both from memory constraints and bandwidth, without the customised and patented hardware-software reconstruction methods. As it stands, the machine is a good leap over the base model, helped in no small part by the game shown here. Horizon is an absolute stunner. Now I can say with almost 100% certainty that buying one this side of 2016 makes little to no sense unless you have A, the spare cash, and or a 4K TV preferably with HDR included. That said, I advise waiting to buy both a new TV and the Pro until more titles hit. Horizon, Mass Effect, Days Gone, God of War and Spider-Man for starters are all 2017 or later titles, and as nice as the new modes and forward compatibility patches are, the real benefits will come much further down the line, with frame rate and or visual enhancements being an option for each, the best mix of the new machine's power. This will expand more as we see a growing number of engines and titles adopting a more GPU-centric design. Doom, Uncharted 4 and the just released The Tomorrow Children, video up soon, are a sign of the future, something the Pro will really excel at if the 4K aim is relaxed. Not all titles or studios can or will achieve this, but this is on Sony to make that more common and expand the Pro's market by catering to a wider range of upgrades or adopting consumers. I also expect these titles to see a sub 1080 resolution on the base PS4 when this occurs, something I feel is still a fair trade, but this is by no means fact. Be under no illusion, this machine is designed to push the adoption of 4K TVs. That is its purpose. It is after all a hardware feature set for every title on the machine. But this doesn't mean developers have to stick to using all of that resource just to push the pixels. In my opinion, it is a waste, and where possible they should always try and maximize that potential by using more of the hardware resource to give you effects and features that enhance the experience, gameplay and visual quality over the pixel number. Now be sure to check my site and channel regularly for further updates on the Pro and more as I get them, and I will be back soon with more analysis of Pro titles and just what other features have been snuck into the new box. As always, I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this, and if you did, then please feel free to subscribe and like, and also share where appropriate. It really helps my channel immensely, and as I am completely independent and self-funded, and I will always be completely unbiased and honest. Leave all your thoughts and feedback below. You guys and girls take care, and I'll see you on the next one.